Alright guys, TacticalRab back again today. I hope you're all doing well and enjoying your day so far. A crazy day of Call of Duty has just come to an end. I told you guys this morning it was going to be a long day of action. Game 5 certainly on the cards. Game 5s were indeed delivered, but some remarkable results to go along with them as well, and certainly create some incredible storylines heading into Major 1. Very much enjoyed your thoughts in the comment section below. Hit the like button if you enjoyed the video. Subscribe if you are new as always. I'd greatly appreciate it. Really upset the channel. Let's just dive straight on into things. New York, one of the big discussions of the day after all this talk right about the No Pressure documentary coming out and discussions really behind the scenes. What's going on with Neptune? Is Royalty going to perform? They have a series today against the Boston Breach. Must win really for both teams, you could argue, but well, we'll see how that went in a couple of seconds time. The first series, another incredibly remarkable one, Mutineers versus Seattle Surge. The battle of the deep, I guess you could argue, right, the two kind of sea-related organizations. And look, Mutineers, I don't understand this team. I don't know what's going on here. This was a very rare series for Seattle where they effectively got completely smoked. The game one was very strange though. There was certainly a lot of controversy here because, I mean, yeah, as you can see in this game on screenshots, Vivid lags out of the game on Bakar hardpoints for about 20-30 seconds or so. And that is a pretty big deal because at the end it's actually Seattle that win this by about 15 points. And, well, it was kind of a question, will they actually replay the map? Do the senior want to replay it? Do the players want to replay it, right? Because that's the thing, if you ask the teams, you're probably going to get mixed reception on what they want to do. But they decide to replay the game. The Seedle goes down that route, which, you know, some people were suggesting it wasn't going to happen. Like, I guess the casters immediately were like, okay, what's going on? Like, it's not guaranteed we're going to replay. We saw a lot of controversy about that, especially back in the Modern Warfare days when people would be lagging out all the time, we're getting DDoSed off the servers, and the Seedle didn't really seem to be too keen doing replays. But they get a W nowadays, at least from the Gunless side. He was happy about it. The map is not being replayed, Chrome says, but yeah, they changed their mind. They do replay the map. This I thought was a great point from SlasheR as well, because it just seems like every single time there's a replay in Call of Duty, the team that lost the initial map goes on to win the replay. Like, I'm pretty sure we've said it so many times. Like, I mean, I think it was the Red Reserve versus Rise Nation one that really kind of reminds me, and that was a replay because it was a tied game on Ardennes Forest Harbor, you guys might remember, but a Red Reserve probably should have won. They thought they won, they lost the replay. Like, it just feels like every time this type of stuff happens, the team that wins the game and then plays the replay ends up losing it this time round. Happens again right here. Florida take game one, and well, the Gunless is pretty happy. They actually give the CDL a W here for replaying the game, and that was certainly a positive. But yeah, the rest of the series was quite remarkable. Like, Mutineers just bowled over Seattle in the next couple of maps, and I think some people are saying, okay, wow, what's going on? Like, this game is just super random. Firstly, I think the Mutineers are just a crazy team where some days they look incredible, some days they don't. So that's just how they are. Like, the way their players work, and like the fact that their teamwork is sometimes there, it's sometimes not. They've been this team for a very long time at this point. But it was surprising that Seattle didn't really turn up today. At the same time, like, we haven't really seen all that much from Seattle. We know they should be a top team on paper. They did it at the Kickoff Classic. They've had a few good results to kick off this season, but still, they haven't necessarily proved they're a team of the caliber of FaZe that are just going to be very hard to beat on a consistent basis. Today, they had a massive off day. Their star players failed to deliver, and this is what happens, right, against a team like the Mutineers that can take a series off you. So, yeah, really interesting stuff, and it creates incredible storylines really for the Major, because Seattle Surge, if they'd have won this series comfortably, we're looking, okay, Seattle, like, still one of the top dogs in the league, but now Toronto getting 3-0'd and Seattle getting 3-0'd, arguably coming into this week, really, the top 1 and 2 teams in the entire game. Now, FaZe, I guess, another number 1 again, and there's all these questions going around as to exactly what's going on with these teams. What do the power rankings look like? Who should be favourites for the Major? Like, all these questions swirling around. Very exciting stuff. But yeah, 3-0 for the Mutineers. Certainly not something I predicted. Vivid is a menace on the map and continues to be so. But I mean, yeah, Dav Paddy, great series from him. Awakening as well. Both of these guys combining for plus 29, and not very often you see Sib and Pred combined to go minus 33. Definitely an off series for them. We'll see how they bounce back into the Major, and of course their next matchup, I believe they're still got to play tomorrow. Then let's dive into this New York series then. So finally, Royalty's out there in Texas. I wasn't actually sure this was going to be possible, but they get them out there. They've got everyone in the same facility. Definitely going to be a massive step up for these guys. But still, there was the question, okay, like, if the slaying power isn't going to be there, is Royalty going to deliver in the slaying side of things? They still hadn't won a hardpoint going into this series. They still haven't won a hardpoint after this series. But yeah, the way they won it certainly does show some promising signs for the subliners. But yeah, far from convincing, frankly, this one, that these guys are improving drastically. Because if they play against a team that's really going to, well, punish them in the other game modes, then I think subliners still don't stand all that much of a chance against the top opposition. Like, it wasn't pretty, some of the scoreboards once again this game. The game one goes the way of Boston. Again, like, the slaying just, they got completely outside once again. Like, the final series stats here are pretty disgusting for the New York side, apart from none other than Hydra, right? It just feels like without Hydra, this team would just be nowhere near, like, what they're, of course, capable of. But Hydra does really seem to be that silver bullet that's carrying through them these games at times. Like, okay, Clayster makes some nice plays. They do manage to win the Search and Destroy. They tie up the series. They win a crucial round 11, actually, I'm pretty sure this time. Clayster set falls off the map. This is just classic stuff. This really sums up the series. Clay falls off the map, Hydra's getting a two-piece. This just pretty much how things went for the New York guys. They won the control in a dominant fashion. Guaranteed control. This is what we're talking about from Crimsix. 36 and 23. They both combine for plus 26, 74 and 48 between the two of them. That's a quite remarkable performance. But yeah, Royalty and Clayster again not having the greatest time. They win this in around 5. Not easy at all. They then go on to lose the hard points. And I mean, again, New York, you can just count on them getting outside and losing hard points right now. It's not the prettiest thing ever. But Crimsix a happy man because they come out and in game 5, Hydra just completely takes over the game. The plays he made on this Barrage Search and Destroy to win them this map were just ridiculous. Like at this point that you see this final round, he's already 14 and 7 going into this final round. He gets 1, he gets 2. Like Method just completely caught off guard. This third kill as well was just ridiculous. Just Charles Nero jump shot straight out of the window, no problem at all. And well, he might have got the ace as well if his teammate didn't get it before then. But yes, New York do get a series win. They're on the board officially. Boston again, a little bit of strange performance from these guys. Like okay, sometimes they turn up, sometimes they don't. I just think talent-wise, they don't have the consistency to compete with the best teams on paper. And this obviously was a big series win for them to try and take care, because now they have a very difficult time tomorrow against Optic. And if they lose that one, the 2 and 3 tiebreakers are going to be absolutely immense in this group. We'll have a look at that tomorrow morning, because there's too many permutations, I'm pretty sure, to consider tonight. But still, a much-needed victory for the subliners, guys. Again, very unconvincing, frankly, right, to be losing the respawns in the way they did. They managed to 2-3-5 it, which isn't going to happen all the time. But a good confidence boost for these guys to know, okay, they can win series at least. They're on the board. The benefit was we got a Crimsix interview, which was fantastic as well. I'm sure we'll talk about that tomorrow. But yeah, subliners 3-2 over Boston. Hydra, look at this stat line. Like, in fairness to Crim has almost the same damage as Hydra, like at 40 less damage. But he actually is a 0.97. So Crim was actually dealing a lot of damage this game, and also had a load of kills as well. But Hydra has a 116 kill performance, 1.21 KD, really the shining star of this team. Royalty, bit of a stinker again, like minus 26, 75 and 101. He won the series. There was, of course, a fair bit of talk about the fact that, okay, if he's in Texas, things are going to be different. Didn't really work out that in the slaying department again. So, yeah, still concerns there. I still don't really have faith that this team before is going to last all that long. But at least they're showing some signs. And honestly, at times, it seems like Crim is the kind of SMG duo to Hydra. Like, the pressure that Crim puts on is seemingly the pressure that the SMG duo should be putting on with Hydra. Doesn't seem to be the case either with Neptune or right now with Royalty. I guess something to keep our eyes on. But so yeah, still a very interesting one. Royalty says the following: GG's to Boston 1-3-2. Only had a week of practice. So yeah, Panko is huge for that last map, no doubt. So seeing what these guys can do into the major, of course, they play FaZe tomorrow. That's going to be far from easy. And yeah, they'll come out and 3-0 them, right, given on the results we have seen today. But Clay says can't win a hard point. 1-3-2 versus, of course, the Boston guys. New York versus Boston, always a fun time. They beat them in the kickoff classic as well. G to them. Gotta play better though. Clayster still immense. His performance hasn't been the best. And this was some controversy that came out, right? Because a lot of talk lately about kind of that, well, the aim assist through the wall stuff. We even talked about it earlier today with kind of well, Cellium abusing it and what's the kind of repercussions the players have faced for this. Other players seemingly don't really care at this point. They're going to abuse what's in the game. Clayster, this clip comes out. I'll share it for you guys real quick. Only a couple of seconds of him kind of looking for methods. Swipes back and forth on his tank. Not sure he actually got any info from this, but just kind of shows the willingness from some of these pros to use it at this point.
But he's just trying to wrap or read a player, trying to force his way through tunnel. And he's going to work his way back. Methods, unfortunately, does not watch him cross.
Crim certainly had some entertaining words to say after the fact. I mean, there was a kind of a back and forth with Nameless on the desk. He was throwing some shots at TJ, right? Always gets the better of TJ. And also saying tomorrow that he's going to be centering a little bit lower for his game up against Simp. But aBeZy saying that might be pretty big in the game, but well, short in stature outside of it, of course. But yeah, Crim's interview, just unbelievably entertaining. This guy's just star of the show. Like, if Crim's got an interview, you've got to tune in. The viewership probably went up during this interview for the regular match, to be honest. But well, it certainly should do next time if New York win another game, which hopefully they will in due course. Certainly hoping that New York actually get better, so we get more of these blessing the timeline. This also, there was some drama hitting it actually, just because, well, as Brian Saint says, why did he pick up Royalty instead of someone from Challenges? This is a question that came up from Nameless. Obviously, like, what he kind of meant was, like, why did he pick up a veteran in Royalty rather than, like, a real up-and-coming Challenger player? But Simp was kind of roasting Nameless, saying, okay, solid questions, what's going on? I mean, Chris, we could scrap about it if you really want to. Hey, so you're going to re-drop someone for Neptune, or what's up? Another solid one. That was another question that was asked by Nameless, like, what's going on with the Neptune situation? And And yeah, as Nameless says, that's fire question, bro. So yeah, Simp certainly was kind of going a bit of Nameless here, and some of the questions he was asking, thought it was at least worth mentioning right here. But let's talk about the final series I want to discuss in this video. We'll talk about Thieves versus Toronto tomorrow, because it's getting late over here in Europe, no doubt. And well, part of that is thanks again to Toronto. These guys, honestly, they do it every time. Whenever I see Toronto on the fixtures sheet, I'm like, come on, again, another game 5, another like crazy long series. They always deliver on the crazy long series, I will admit. Like, that is something I credit them for. But being a European Call of Duty fan, I'd like it if there was some 3-0s in their arsenal, but they don't seem to ever be able to deliver one. Like, you always know it's somehow going game 5 with these guys. But yeah, game 1 was insane. Los Angeles Guerrillas clutch up on a barrage hardpoint. This is a massive series for both teams. Minnesota here were 1-3 after their loss yesterday for FaZe, and Los Angeles Guerrillas were 2-2. So again, another massive win where if Los Angeles Guerrillas win, they get themselves guaranteed into winners. If it goes the way it did in the end with Minnesota winning in a game 5, then it's all up for debate. I'm not sure anything is confirmed as a result of this. It's just that the tiebreakers are going to be insane. But game 1 was like super down to the wire, a crazy mixy barrage hardpoint. We're used to it at this point. This also certainly worth mentioning though, because look at SlasheR in the bottom right hand corner here. Like he was very frustrated with exactly what he was experiencing. So as you can see, as this game comes down to the wire, like I mean, yeah, 250, 241. So they do win the map. You can see SlasheR's eyes. Like he's got the sun in his eye on the right hand side. I don't know why they didn't maybe fix this before the map, but immediately after it ends, you can see that he he has a go. He's like, bro, what's going on? The sun's in my eyes. He's like clearly really frustrated, like shouting at the window, like, what is this? Like, why is this open? Trying to get someone to close it. For the upcoming map, it was indeed closed, and maybe should have opened it again for the map 5, because seemingly that's the key to winning here on barrage. But yeah, SlasheR wasn't a happy man, but even after they fixed it, things didn't really improve. I mean, yeah, Navel kind of talks about it right here. But yeah, the game 2, this again is when Minnesota Rokkr kind of come into their own. I thought that this series, Guerrillas would finally kind of win a search against Rokkr and manage to take it that way, but Rokkr kind of do the classic Rokkr thing here, really, where they try and do pretty well in the search and destroys. Berlin goes their way 6-4, relatively close fought affair, not the greatest one you're going to see though. And then this control was this is just classic stuff. This to me is kind of two teams that aren't particularly good at control, that just can't find a way to win offenses. The better teams here win one of these offenses, but both of these teams are just playing super slow and passive to try and get enough kills to get to the round 5 defense, which it's just very painful to watch them play that way. I guess theoretically it is the best play to make, but I think a team like FaZe or some of the better teams in the controls would have managed to convert one of the advantages that some of these teams sometimes had in the offensive map. But yeah, look, in the end it goes the way of Los Angeles Guerrillas. Round 5, all defenses, boring stuff, classic from some poor control teams, and then this is the hard point. Like, this was just absurd. Los Angeles Guerrillas should easily have won this series. They had a massive lead going into this second P1 rotation. Like, at this point they were up like 160-60. They're up by pretty much 100 points at one of these times. And I mean, look at this graph, it just comes all the way back. Rokkr managed to take the lead. They did a similar thing, in fairness to Optic, when they played them in the final series, that of course they managed to beat them in the game 5 that time, but they did a similar thing to Optic before. They do it here again, but a complete collapse, honestly, from Los Angeles Guerrillas. They should have closed this series up in 4, no doubt about it. They completely throw it away towards the end. Rokkr win a game 4, and you know what happens there, right? It's a game 5, it's a barrage search and destroy. It goes the way of Minnesota. They always do this, like such a long series, it was insane. But yeah, Minnesota get the job done. They're now 2-3. Los Angeles Guerrillas are 2-3. Of course, Minnesota will hold the head-to-head tiebreak, but I'm sure there's going to be a lot of drama at that 2-3 range that may well be determining who gets to go through to the winners bracket of the major. Lots to talk about tomorrow. EasyMax says there's even a possibility of a 6-way tie at 2-3, where 3 teams could be in winners and 3 could make losers. There's a lot that could possibly still happen here. And just to finish out with this crazy scoreboard ready to finish out the game, Asim goes 118 and 125. You do not see that one every day, but very much intrigued to your thoughts and all this stuff in the comment section below. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did enjoy it, hit on the like button, tell us the YouTube gods this is a good video. I'd also like you should see it as well, and upgrade the competitive Call of Duty community. Thanks as always, take care, and I will see you next time.